Hello, everybody. So, my name is Laura Lopez,
My name's
and,
Amela Padilla.
and we're doing the Unit 3 Research-Based Persuasive Writing Project at Semester Reflected podcast.
Podcast. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, I
I
don't
can
know if you.
start first.
Yes?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
start first.
Okay.
Okay, for overall growth as a rhetorical communicator, which project best represents your growth as a writer, speaker, designer, and why?
Um, I will say that the research one,
The
the
research
pers-
one.
I was able to grow a lot in writing because there was like a whole process. Like it
Yeah,
was
it
like
was
it
a
was a
lot.
it was a very long unit. There were so many components, and so um I uh and so writing was like very different compared to like the other units. And so whenever I write now, like when I'm writing like for other assignments, like it's a lot more easier now than it was at the beginning of the semester because of that struggle with that specific research project. So I will say that like writing, I really did grow a lot in writing significantly. So yeah.
Okay, for me, I would also say the research process and the OPID, because it was like giving my opinion like for the first time. Like it's usually like follow this topic, like stay to this topic, but the OPID like you could choose a side and like I really like that because it's like your voice in writing, and I think that
Yeah.
helped a lot.
Hmm. Okay.
And then for the research process, well, like you said, like it's a whole process. I wasn't even familiar with making surveys or anything like that. So it was like it was new, and I just enjoyed doing all of that.
Hmm. Okay. So what what challenged you the most this semester, and how did that challenge change the way you approach communication?
It would probably be the OP-Ed, like giving my opinion because that was like different. It was different communication. Like it wasn't. It was like my actual voice and writing what I felt about it and trying to like back it up with my own facts and stuff like that. So I feel like it was mostly that.
Hmm. Yeah, I will say the same thing. Like the op-ed, I feel like I did struggle because like I'm used to writing like the facts and interpretation rather than
Mm-hmm.
my opinion. So that was hard. Also keeping like the word limit, not writing too much, not writing very little, but like enough words where you get it's like straight to the point and having like
Yeah.
everything in there. That was really hard. Uh, I think everything was hard like in general,
Yeah.
but
It,
because everything like it had its own thing.
it was really different. Everything's
Yeah,
different.
it was different from one another, and like you really had to like um I don't know, like it was just different. Just like
Yeah.
from each unit.
Yeah,
But
we had to like I feel like we had to like adapt to each
yes,
differently.
adapt because it was like a different audience and you had to write a different tone. You had to use a different language, and so um it was like just different ways. I learned that there's like different ways in writing, like with the
Hmm.
units that were presented to us. So yeah, I will say it was like mostly the op-ed and maybe a little bit of the research, even though like the research included a lot of things, like the literature review, the methodology, the introduction, the result and the interpretation, like all of that was like different from one another, and you had to take into account like I was saying, like audience and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So everything
Um,
was hard.
yeah, it was. For audience on purpose, looking back, which audience-based choice are you most proud of?
Um, I will say like for me, uh well, looking back at the research-based, the research unit, um, most of my project had to deal with like instructors and stuff, and so I had to keep a very academic, professional tone and
Hmm.
language, and so I'm really proud of that because I know how I'll have to apply that in my future jobs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I am applying it now, well, in my job because I do have to
Hmm.
like write a bunch of long emails to professors, and students. And so I'm really proud of that because it's like really helped me a lot um in that specific area for instructors and stuff like that. So that for me that's like what I'm really proud of.
For me, like what I'm most proud of would be maybe like the infographic and the research, my own research, because it was focused on UTRGV students. So I kind of tried to like make it make it like easy, not too easy where it's not like a research process, but it was really like understanding. Like if I was a college student opening a link for a survey, I wouldn't like want something super long, like formal. So I kind of like did a mix of both. So I think I'm proud of that because I feel like that's kind of like it's hard to not be too formal and then not be too informal.
Yeah. And then
Mm-hmm.
like putting yourself in the shoes of those people, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Because
Yeah.
I don't know, like, well, like, I don't know, they like that, they don't like that. Like, I think everyone's different. So
Mm.
I feel like I'm most proud of that. Like, trying to just make it in between, like, not too much, not too little.
Yeah. No, yeah. Okay.
And the infographic tool, like, I feel like it was the same thing. I like kept my design really like minimal, but
Mm.
not too minimal, you know.
Yeah.
So that would be it for me.
Okay. Which project required the most adjustment to tone, language, or design? And what did you change and why?
I feel like maybe the opiate because I wasn't like in my in English 101 I was more it was more like formal writing, like it was all formal writing or there was a bunch of requirements and the opiate was like it had to be really short but really straightforward, like you could I don't know how to explain it, but you had to like give your opinion and like stay with your opinion, like don't be changing your sides. And I feel like that was kind of like I had to adjust it to the tone a lot because like I kept on forgetting who it was for. Like it's not for my
Mm.
teacher to grade, like it was for students. And then the language, I tried to keep like really minimal language because it was again it was for like college students. And then the design, I feel like the design layout since it was like a really short opiate, like it had really like specific requirements on the space and all of that. And I feel like I kind of like I had to adjust that a lot because I when I give my opinion, it was I started off with like 3 pages, and I feel like it was only supposed to be like half of that. So I kept on like redirecting to each side, and I had to like stick to one side. But that yeah, I'll just say that it's the opiate.
For me, I think it was the research one again, because
Mm-hmm.
that was really hard. I would say like I had to adjust a lot on the design because there was so many components. If one of the designs of like one part of the project wasn't good, then like the other you're going to struggle in the second part because they're interconnected.
Yeah.
I would have to go back again and to reorganize or just to make just to make everything interconnected. Like I had to go back and like sort of like not start over, but to change some things just so it could make the next part of the research assignment like interconnected with each other and relevant. So that was like really hard, and that was like since there were so many components to it, like the design, like I realized like if I don't have a good design or a good foundation, then that's going to like really affect me in the future. Um, as well as for the language, um, I think it was like the op-ed,
The
because like
opiate.
I kept having to do it formal instead of like giving my own opinion.
I feel like it was
So
different. Like it's
yeah, it was
something
very
different.
different. I struggled a lot, like when it came to like tone and language, because like I always tend to write very professionally, or I try
Mm-hmm.
to, and so that's like very different. Like, oh, so yeah, I did have to adjust a lot to that, and yeah,
Okay, for research and inquiry, how did your approach to source? How did your approach to sources differ from between academic research and public-facing projects?
public facing. I didn't know what it meant by public facing projects.
I feel like maybe it's a research project since it's like out there, like public. That's what I would like think. I
Oh,
didn't really understand that either.
oh, okay. Well, uh, I I really don't know. Academic research.
I feel like maybe it's like the sources that we use for the OPED versus the research, like the actual research, like how they differ.
Oh, okay. Um, I guess like the sources that the professor gave us, I mean, like they were already like checked. Like she already checked like on her own that they were credible as, and then for the ones like where we had to like find our, or at least for me, I had to use my own sources. I had to go my way and find my own sources. I went to Google Scholars to find an academic source. And so, um, that was different from the op-ed because like the op-ed, like they already included like the sources that we had, like the videos, the readings. We could already use that for the op-ed compared to, at least for me, the research one. I had to find a credible source using what I learned in the what I learned in this class.
Mhm. For me, it would also kind of be the same. I think I only used like one different one for the research.
Hmm.
And it would be, wait, no, I meant for the opioid. Um, Mostly because like I wanted to actually like do my own research on it. So I feel like it differed because, well, she's a professor. She gave us that specific story, so I knew that it was like credible, like, you know. And then when I was looking, I also went to Google. Um, I also went online, but I was having a hard time kind of like knowing what was reliable or not and what I could use or not. So I feel like maybe that.
Hmm. Oh,
But
let's see.
yeah, that would be.
I think I did something. Sorry,
It's
I
okay.
don't know how to go.
I can ask the next question.
Oh,
Like it's
okay,
not
okay.
okay. What
Uh,
did you learn about credibility, bias, or evidence throughout the sequence of assignments?
for me, when it came to credibility, I mean, all these things like I learned in this semester. I didn't really learn last semester, and so when it came to credibility, um, I guess I learned that like the sources that I get, like it's really important to know like who wrote them, if they have like if they're like how do I say this?
Like
Um,
credible,
yeah, but like I don't know what words to use. Like if they meet that standard, like to write those words, like or to how do I say this? Uh, they're more reliable because of
hmm.
where they stand and what they've done. Um, so I thought that was really good to know, especially for future, I don't know, maybe like future projects where I do have to do research. Um, bias, um, I guess I learned a lot, like on the readings, like they did talk about bias, like that I can't just, um, read everything and like take in like believe everything that they say. I have to take a step back and sort of like analyze and recognize that maybe like the author they could be standing on one side, and so I can just like just recognize that like how do I say this? I can't just like take in everything and like um um take in like the facts, not the
Like
strong
their
words.
opinion.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Um and then And then for evidence, I just learned that like the evidence that you put in, it has to be relevant and credible whenever you're like adding it in to your like your essays, to your research project and stuff like that.
Okay. What I learned about credibility was mostly like the same as you said, that we have to like double check each source and just make sure that actually like fits into what we're trying to say before putting it in. Like you can't just put a random source in. and then for it to be like completely irrelevant to what you're saying. And then bias. I also learned that like when writing your own projects and when actually reading someone else's work, like you have to watch out for that because many of the times like they'll try to like make you go to one side where you're supposed to have like a neutral tone when writing
Yeah,
and also when reading someone else's work because you don't know. And then evidence, I would also say that you have to be like it's a whole process. Like getting your evidence is a whole process.
yeah.
And like it's really important because that's what's gonna back up your work. So I feel like I just mostly that. Do you want to ask the next question or do you want me to ask
Yes,
it?
yes, I could read the next one. Okay.
Mhm.
Project-specific reflection for the op-ed. So, what argument were you most invested in making and why?
For the op-ed, I would say I was it was based on like I feel like it was based on like sources and revising and all of that. So I feel like my argument was kind of like not, it wasn't like don't use it at all or use it completely, but it was mostly like a neutral tone. I don't know if you get that.
Yeah,
Um, it was mostly like saying that like you have to like instead of choosing a side, you need to like gather your resources carefully and actually like read it before trusting anything. And that you could use a mix of both and use that as kind of like as an advantage, like as an academic tool. That's what I
for,
that was my main argument.
for me, because I think like my topic was based on like Grokopedia and Wikipedia, because it was
Hmm.
there was two different prompts, right? And
Yes.
I was just like the my argument was saying how like even though they do have like their pros and cons and like people tend not to like trust it because of their credibility and people like for example Wikipedia, people are always like constantly editing and we don't know like who
Hmm.
are behind like who's like making these changes if they're like reliable enough. There's still some like there's still some advantages you could like take from using Wikipedia or Wikipedia. Um, and well, basically, what my argument was just like you can use it to your advantage when it came to surface level information, but not
Hmm.
going to deeper, like uh, not going into deep um analysis, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Like to start off researching. That was my main argument. And yeah,
Okay. If you revise your OPA today, what would you change
for
and
me,
why?
I think. For me, I think it would be just like making it more uh of my opinion because I feel like I put like too much context between Wikipedia and Wikipedia like to persuade like my argument instead of making it like my opinion. So I would want to go back and like rearrange some of the words that I use and make like maybe use some more of my experiences even though I don't have much experience using Wikipedia or Grokpedia, so that um I guess like putting more of my opinion out there.
Okay, I would also kind of say the same because I feel like that was like a new topic, like something completely different. Like it was actually your voice, like your writing. And I would probably change like actually doing research because I wasn't aware I had never been on Wikipedia or
Mm,
Grokopedia, so I wasn't like
yeah.
sure what to even pick or how to even back up my own opinion. So I feel like I would change that. Like actually go onto there and maybe even like know the sources beforehand.
Mm, okay. Just also we have like 10 minutes. I don't know why. Uh
Um,
yeah. So let's just try to do this quickly. I don't know why. I think it gives us a time limit when we're recording.
mhm.
Okay.
um,
Is it my turn?
I'll ask it for the
Okay.
podcast. How to collaboration or scripting change the final message?
I think I think like for scripting, like whenever the teacher would give us like the guiding questions, I would go my way and sort of like answer the questions like detailed, just so I have an idea like what I'm going to say. Because
Mhm.
usually if someone like gives me a question and like for this specific assignment, there's some like projects that we did like a long time ago, so I'm not going to remember immediately
Yeah.
what I did. So it's good for me to sort of like write some things out, plan it, and not just like read my answers. Like I'm right now, I'm not reading my answers, but I remember now because I wrote it down. Or maybe just like take a glance of it. So I feel like that's what like helped me really do this final message that we're doing right now. Um, but yeah.
For me, I feel like collaboration really worked because at the beginning, like when I would start the project, it was like a whole process that I wasn't aware of. And I feel like actually knowing that other students or classmates like felt the same way kind of on most of the projects because I feel like I was the only one like lost or like if it was new to me, I was like maybe they're more advanced or something. But actually collaborating with other students like you makes me feel like that we kind of had like the same mindset towards each assignment. So I would say that. What worked or didn't when translating written arguments into spoken form?
Or translating written arguments. I wasn't really sure about this question. What worked or didn't when translating written arguments? Would you like to answer this question first?
I'll try.
Okay, okay.
What worked or didn't when translating written arguments? I feel like maybe like written arguments, I was kind of more confident on the written side than
Oh,
actually
okay.
speaking it because my confidence in public speaking isn't that out yet. Like I'm trying to work on it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like that like what worked was in written form. I could actually back it up with actual resources, and then when I would actually speak it, it's kind of hard to just put it all out there because you kind of like you miss out the important details. So I feel like I would say that.
Okay. Like, I guess for me, I think it's like for me a lot easier to write everything down because just like talking to someone like or like making an argument without writing, it's hard for me. So I feel like I do have to write things down.
Mm,
Um, and sort of like analyze like what's going on and make uh full sentences that do make sense before I can like say
mm,
like my
mm,
argument. Um, I think that's what really helps. Like I feel like for like this particular for these podcasts, like I don't think we'd be able to like answer these questions if it wasn't for like doing all the assignments, like writing everything. Um, and so I do think like that does play a factor in how we're going to like make our argument at the end. Um, and what didn't work, at least for me, not planning anything,
um,
that doesn't work for me. Uh, Unless I have more practice, like, I don't know, at least like right now, like that doesn't work for me, not planning something. But yeah,
okay. For the
uh, I'll read it.
yeah,
For the PSA, what emotional or ethical appeals did you rely most on your PSA?
I feel like maybe more on the facts. Like I wasn't trying to. It wasn't really emotional. Like it was more. Well, I kind of did use like emotional appeal because I was trying to like feel. I was trying to make like other people that were reading my own work like kind of like understand my side of you and kind of like just I'm not sure how to say it, but kind of just like um it was mostly just trying to get my audience to like actually like feel or understand or like yeah, just understand and um it was mostly just to understand like my what I was trying to say and put out there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
the PSA was like the video that we did, right, with Ashley?
The PSA. Oh, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Um,
Okay.
for me, I think it was like very it was like academic and also like very informal
Mm-hmm. I
because
feel like
like
it was short. Like it was really
yeah, because
just.
like our audience are like a bunch of students, or young students who are like not aware like how to use their sources or the
Mm-hmm.
importance of like verifying your sources, and so I guess like at that point of their life, like they're not very formal compared to older adults or like instructors, if you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean. So it was like more, like I was saying, not that formal, but also academic because we are using, well, we are informing them of something that we learned in class. Um,
Did the PSA push you to simplify or intensify your message?
I think it was just simplifying our message.
Mm-hmm.
It was really short and straight to the point.
Yeah, I would also say the same. Like it had to be like below, I think, 3 to 4 minutes. So
Yeah.
we had to really just put our message out there. So.
No, yeah, and there was different ways in approaching that, and we chose like the skit.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was at least the thing that we picked that was easy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Uh, I'll read the next one. For infographic, how did your visual design influence clarity and persuasion?
For my infographic, it was towards like UTRGV students, so I kind of like just went with a simple design, like nothing like too like chaotic or like messy. Like it was just really like simple and laid out nice, and I feel like the visual design influenced it because it was like if you looked at it, like I wish I could put a picture, but if you looked at it, it's like really like just casual, simple, something that like I feel like anyone would actually stop by and like click it or just want to view it. So I feel like I would say that.
Um, for me, my visual design was like very academic and formal because my audience were instructors from UTRGV.
Okay.
And so I had to organize everything where it was like appealing towards professors, like not um s- and I guess like simple because they do have to understand what it is in under 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So it was simple, academic, and formal for me, and the information that I chose to put. So yeah.
Okay. What decisions did you make about the data selections and representation?
Um, I guess for me, what I guess like the type of questions that I wanted to put like there, like from the questionnaire, I did include two questions that um I picked two questions that were related to like my research topic. There could have been any other question I could have picked. I picked those two questions since I feel like it would catch their attention the most. Um I included some facts um about the about like the usage of AI among instructors, like the sources that I used,
Mm-hmm.
but like in a more simplified form, as well as like what this infographic was for. Um, and I feel like I had to organize everything. Like the example that she showed us, it looked really easy, but it's
Mm-hmm.
easier said than done, having to organize everything. Um, but yeah, it was just like knowing what information to put and where to put it in the
Yeah.
infographic that makes it visually appealing and understandable. Okay, we're back.
Mm-hmm. I can start it off. Transfer
Okay.
beyond the course. What rhetorical habits will you carry forward into future writing or professional work?
I will say like knowing who my audience is, the language I
Mm-hmm.
have to use for that audience, my tone, um, if it's like research related, knowing what type of credible sources I'm using, relevant ones, mm, I guess when I'm like analyzing a source, like for
Mm-hmm.
example, the readings that she gave us, like those were counted as sources. Like the process of like annotating, understanding how what everything is. Um, that's I feel like that habit that we've been doing like throughout the semester is really going to help me in my other classes as well.
Okay, I would also kind of say the same. Like for my habits, I feel like like I didn't before, but especially even like the small little habits, like checking my grammar and just making sure
Mhm.
that it all like fits well into there. Also checking my sources because I would just read anything off and just
Mhm.
use that. But now I
Yeah.
actually like now I know that it's like a whole process behind it, and also like adapting to the to your audience because I feel like it's really like it's important to have because I before the OPA like it was just formal writing like for each assignment even in any other classes it's just really like formal writing or stick to this stick to that and the OPA kind of like gave me insight on like knowing that there's like different writings that we have to like adapt to kind of so I would say that.
Yeah. Um, how has this course changed the way you consume media, news, or persuasive messages?
Okay. I'm not really on the news a lot, like I'm gonna be honest. But for media, like I would like see anything and believe it like right away. Like I would click on it. Even if it was a scam or anything, like I would click on it because it was just really persuasive. But now I actually like see like, oh, is it like a real actual website or is it just fake? Especially for media because they like it's a bunch of like for example, on Instagram, you can go on Instagram and it's gonna be saying something about a celebrity, and then it can be an old picture, but like I don't know
Mhm.
that. So I feel like I kind of like just check for actual facts instead of just believing anything right away.
Yeah, I would say the same because I guess like before I took this course, I feel it was like really hard for me to believe what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so and I don't really watch the news as much either, but like for media, like it's really helped me like uh realize like the importance of taking a step back and verifying if these sources are actually reliable and to question things. I think that's extremely important like now moving forward like um for anything um at least in that aspect. I know
Mm-hmm.
like I will like in the future I will see like more news like now that I'm like more I mean I know we are adults but when we're like more mature
Yeah.
uh I know that I this is like really valuable um skills to have when knowing when taking in information. And it might be information that like could be very important to us that could apply to us. And so this is really helpful as far as for persuasive messages. I liked how like most of the readings like they were very detailed and like for example, like how some like authors like they're kind of biased or like when like there's some unreliable people or like some unreliable authors and so um it's really helped me like analyze like like how they're writing um and how and, well I guess just like taking a step back whenever they're trying
Mm-hmm.
to persuade me to think of
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
just to
just to
question things.
double like verify it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Reflection on process. How did peer instructor feedback influence your revisions?
um I think the most of the feedback, I think it was mostly just the teacher and they were very
Mm-hmm.
detailed. I thought that was very helpful because there were some assignments where I unfortunately I wasn't able to get feedback and so without that feedback it was super hard for me to like know where I was going to see if I was
Mm-hmm.
like if I was like right on track compared to the other assignments where I actually got feedback, that really helped me help me go to the right direction and go and help my work be more refined. and better. Um, but yeah, I really thought uh, I value more feedback now than I did like before this class because this class actually gives a lot of feedback. I know other
Mm-hmm.
classes like they just grade your assignment and there's no feedback.
Mm-hmm. I would also say the same thing. This semester, I didn't really get much feedback from the professor because I had her for last semester for
Hmm.
English 101. So I feel like the first time I got feedback, I was kind of like scared because it
Yeah.
was like new, like no one does that. But I kind of like learned to appreciate it, and I was really thankful for that because I could actually fix my work and like know what I did
Yeah.
wrong. So I feel
Yeah,
like
and
I learned more that way.
yeah, I learned a lot more that way. It's like
Mm-hmm.
having like your own private tutor. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like it was really like the communication between like the instructor and the students, especially with feedback actually like helps because there's many that just grade your assignment and it's an F, like it's gonna stay an F, and you won't even know why. But she actually let you know like what you did wrong, like fix it, and you learn with that process.
Well, yeah,
So,
especially since like the teacher's very knowledgeable and we're
mm-hmm,
barely just learning. So it's good to have like someone who knows what they're doing and like know when we've like made a mistake.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be honest, like I wasn't before any English 101 or 102. I didn't even know what MLA was or research or Google Forms, all of that. But actually,
Yeah.
like, there's like a bunch of sources that I like know now thanks to that. So I feel like that it just like shapes your knowledge. Like now we're gonna go into future classes
Yeah.
and we're gonna be more knowledgeable about that. Hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Mm, okay, what did you learn about your own strengths and limitations as a communicator?
I feel like I'm more my strength was probably like actually writing. Like I feel like I'm better in writing and not public speaking as a communicator. I feel like when I try to like actually like I can write it down and it'll be like a perfect message, and then I can actually speak it and it'll just be like there's gonna be flaws because like
Yeah,
um
because like when you're writing, it's fixable, and then you just turn in
mhm.
like your best work, and then you're just speaking like,
Yeah,
and yeah,
so my strength would be probably knowing like because I feel like I learned a lot with the English 101. I feel like I learned a lot, and then even more this semester. So I feel like that's my strength. Like I'm better writing, but actually communicating, I still have like a lot of limits. Like I need a. Mm-hmm,
I would say like my answer would be like similar as well. Like my writing has significantly improved, like, because I did struggle a lot so much with writing, because like I wanted it to be perfect to sound like very flowy, straight to the point, and taking like all that into account, that's like really hard. And with all these hard assignments and projects that we did for this class, that I feel like that really helped me, um and I guess like writing became like easier for me because of that struggle.
mm-hmm,
Um, as far as for limitations as a communicator, um, sometimes I do struggle to communicate. If I don't plan things, then yeah, I'm gonna
mm-hmm,
mess up. I feel like um I'm still learning, but I feel like reading like the reading that she gives us, I feel like that gave me more vocabulary to use.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like it expanded my vocabulary, and so I feel like my answers are going to be more sophisticated, better. Which is I feel like it shows now like it shows more now than it did at the very beginning of the semester.
For the final metacognitive, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Final metacognitive question. If you had to explain to a future rhetoric 1302 student what really matters in this course, what would you tell them and why?
Um, I guess I would tell them that um if they were to take this class and with this specific professor, I guess like how every single assignment matters because it's going to affect like your future assignments. It's all interconnected. Um, and um, what else? To the future. I guess also how um like sources that you use, it's going to look a lot more different now than like your previous 1301 course. That's going to be really important now that you're going into harder classes. You do have to know what course sources you're using. Also, the MLA citing, that's also important.
Mhm.
You got to know the difference between what's your work and what's not your work, especially if you forget to cite something very small that could be
Mhm.
marked as like plagiarism. So yeah, and I guess also you need to start off with a really good foundation. If you know what you're doing at the very beginning, then that's going to help you with your other assignments. If you don't know what you're doing at the very beginning, if you have like a really bad foundation, that's going to, you're going to have a really hard time with your other assignments because
Mhm.
everything is interconnected. I guess that's what I would tell them. That's like what really matters.
Okay,
You,
what I would say would be, but I feel like everything matters in the course, even like the small
yeah.
feedback, even the small assignments, or even like the small like, because you know how we had the sources and we had to annotate and then take a like
Yes,
quiz on it.
I thought that was
Mm-hmm.
very helpful. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everything was very helpful and very
Mm-hmm.
important.
And I would say like I would tell them to like appreciate the feedback, like actually try to focus on the class because it's really helpful. Like when you think about it, it's like new skills. Like because before this class, I had no good writing skills or anything like that.
Mm,
And now it's like even my emails changed, like the way I send emails. Like
yes.
it's a new skill, so I feel like they should appreciate that. Like it's something for your own good for your future.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. My emails changed too, because at my job I have to email a bunch of people, especially professors, and it's got it like for me, it's become like a lot more easier to write to professors, like very academic and formal way.
Yeah, I feel like like this class guided us to be more professional for our own
Yeah.
future, for our own careers, and I feel like that's
No, yeah.
really
Yeah, like
helpful.
at first it's like, oh, wait, this isn't my major, but like
Mm,
now that I took this course, like, oh no, this was very helpful. I really needed this class. It's going to help me. Um, but
yeah,
yeah.
looking back, I wasn't sure why I needed this class. Like I was like why do I need it? Like for my because I'm doing my prerequisites for nursing. I was like, why do I
Mm,
need it? But now like it made me more formal, and especially in writing, and I feel like I'm gonna need that a lot. So I would just
yeah.
tell them to like take advantage, like actually learn, because it's really
Yeah.
helpful. And that would be it.
Yes. Thank you. We
Thank
finished.
you.